Alright, I think we're set. Hello, welcome back. Going to be working, once again, on a little game for a game jam for a little place called Pixelland. A game called Negative Space. So called because, well, you're about to see. Well, it's not really going to look like Negative Space yet. It's going to be a side-scrolling shooter game. Like your Galaga, your Galaxian, your Defender, I think. In previous installments, I got the basics running. I got movement working. I trimmed down the code. Now, what to work on next? I think player projectiles. Okay, so what am I doing? Let's see. Okay, yeah, I'm going to hmm. You know what? I think I'm just gonna make a function called player projectiles. Hmm. Trying to think how I want to set it up as far as creating and moving the projectiles. Create and manage player originated projectiles. if new, then else if not else. Create a new projectile. I'm gonna create a structure or a table player.projectiles. I want to figure out how many I want there to be. I think I want to allow there to be 3 at a time. If if pound player.projectiles, right? There's a pound operator in Lua. It has a really niche, but searching for Lua. There's a really niche, but really useful use, and that is to get how many entries there are in a table, or the designation of the last entry in the table. I forget which, and there is a difference because you can have a table that has 1, 2, 3, and 5 as its keys with associated values for each key. And there is no way to create something that's guaranteed where it only has 1, 2, 3, 4, and it stops at 4. And the only way it'll have 5 is if you have all 4 before it. That's just not a built-in thing in Lua. It not checking for that is one of many small, occasionally annoying decisions that makes it so fast. Projectiles. Would it be? Yeah, because arrays are 1 indexed by default in Lua. So yeah, if it's greater than or equal to 3, it shouldn't be greater than 3 because I'm going to cap it at 3. But if it's greater than or equal to 3, then, well, if it's less than 3, then create a new projectile. I'll just print. I'll just add to it and print a thing to the console. Where there is because there's no default thing. Because there's no default numbered style of structure, there's no way to just add on to the end. You would have to loop over what exists numerically and then add one that has a number index that is 1 greater than the last numbered index that you found. Let's just do A, B, and C. Let's do that. Equals A equals nil, Y equals nil. Yeah, I would need to. Yeah, I would need to set them up as tables anyway. I mean, I could set them up as tables in the function, but it's fine. B, C. Well, yeah, because if I did player dot projectiles sub 1 dot x. No, that reads all right. I was thinking it would be something like this, or the notation would be weird. I'll just loop over them. It's whatever. For I comma j, in pairs, in I pairs. Oh, in pairs. Player dot projectiles do print I comma j because I can never remember which is which. If controls dot quick detect dot main tech is, how do I do that? Just to is it just a true false to detect if it's pressed at all? Yeah, I want to enable automatic attacking, so. Okay, so if it's not equal to 0. I want to put in an attack of the show reference, but I I, there. It's a it's a comment in a jam game. It's fine. Yeah, call layer projectiles. Layer projectile. Did I put an S in it or not? I did not. 2 true. Oh, they're both going to be 1. Or it could just not respond. That's fine too. Okay, where did I set? Didn't I set? Isn't attack set to C? Main attack set to C. Main attack is X. Ability is A. Oh no, that's controller controls. Yeah, main attack is C. I don't know. Okay, maybe it's not. If new, yes. Okay, just put in a bunch of print statements. That's always the solution. Print function ran. Print new. Print less than 3. Who needs breakpoints? I have print statements. Okay, so it's getting all the way through there, but it's not quite getting to, well, IJ in pairs. Print loop ran. Oh, I don't have a thing of off-brand SpaghettiOs anymore. I would hold it up and go loops. The loops, brother. Okay, no, it's still not getting to the loop. Why? Is it because I pairs? Let's do pairs. I think it's because it's empty. I mean, it makes sense I can't iterate over an empty table, but then how am I gonna? I'd have to. No, yeah, I'd have to do pound. I'd have to use that pound sign again. That's one of the. Yeah, it's one of the things where it would. Okay. Okay. Uh, print pound flare tooltip flare dot projectiles. It's not going to print anything. It's going to be invisible, isn't it? But I might make the cursor advance. 0. Okay, that's useful. No, okay, pound 0 because there's 0 length. Right. The pound operator gets you the length, or the size, or whatever you want to call it. There's probably a right way to do this, like a way that everybody does it. I'm just gonna invent something. Just off the cuff. Invent something. Probably gonna suck. Probably gonna fix it later. Actually, yeah, this should be straightforward. Player dot projectiles sub pound player dot projectiles plus 1 dot x equals x, and then dot y equals y, and then print, and then loop over player dot projectiles and print. Let's do it to like 30 to start off. Well, do it to like 10 to start off, because just to look nice. Player dot x plus player dot width, because that is where I'd want to spawn it. Player dot y plus player dot height over 2. Put that in parentheses because I am not going to trust order of operations like ever. And I forgot to put in the thing to print it. For I comma j in pairs player dot projectiles. Oh no, it's freezing. Okay. Do print I comma j. Typo. Projectiles. Attempt to index a nil value. Got rule 179. I bet. Yep. Okay. Right, because what I said, I need to set it up as a table first. You can't just index nothing. You don't have to declare your variables, but you do have to declare your tables. You don't have to declare what's in them, but you have to declare something as a table before you can start indexing its contents. Because it only goes so wild and crazy. Um, equals null table. Ah, ah. Come on. 180. Time to index a nil value. Wow. This should work. Do I need to set up numbered tables beforehand? I could do that, but I would have to look up the syntax to do that properly, so that it's indexed by 1 and not the string 1 or the object 1. I don't know. Okay, what if I do this? Print this. Print this. No. Why? Wait, no. Wait. Move it back down after the table is created. See if that does anything. Wow, it's only been half an hour. Got a headset here. Smudging my glasses. Table. Okay. It is clearly not indexing a nil. It is indexing a nil value. because I'm not doing +1. Wait, because I'm adding and it's going beyond it. That's the reason. Because it's when it references here, whatever it references here, it's adding 1 to create another one beyond the end. Because this pound sign in front of the table gives the location, gives the number of the last one in the table. So I add 1. That gives me a blank space where I can add something new. I do use that here, that it's pulling out the one that I just created. So if I add 1, I'm going somewhere that's blank. It's nil, so I can't index it. So I just remove the +1. Let's delete this because I don't need it. Whee! It's stopping at 1. Oh, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Pause. Yes. And if I press it again, goes up to, wait, 10. And that is enough to print that it is slowing down the program. Yeah, speed. The ship is all jittery now. Oh jeez, what's it gonna do when I have 3 player projectiles, a bunch of stars, a bunch of enemy ships, and a whole bunch of projectiles going at once? I think it'll be fine. I'm gonna want to do sprite batches. Oh jeez. Oh jeez. No, how am I gonna update? Okay, Lua, and I think this goes to an underlying feature of the library uses called SDL, and it might even go deeper than that to OpenGL, which is used by SDL. This thing called sprite batches. You can batch together your sprites that you draw. Like this ship here is a sprite. And if you have a bunch, you can put them in a sprite batch, and that does some magic behind the scenes that makes it all draw to the screen a lot faster and more efficiently than it otherwise would. But updating the contents of a sprite batch is kind of expensive. It's kind of resource intensive, if I remember correctly. It's definitely something I'm not familiar with doing. So trying to draw it with a sprite batch could pose a problem. Trying to draw it without a sprite batch could pose a problem. What I'm going to do right now is do the player projectiles, and then add in the enemies. Add in a couple enemies. Get the collision working up like I want it to on those. Yeah, and then I think I'll look up how to do. I'll look up stuff about dynamic sprite batches off camera or something. Just kind of entranced watching this output. But that works. That's good. Okay, so we'll limit this back down to 3. That door's not closed. As I was saying, that was spooky. Door moving and groaning with no one there. It should. Okay, it is. It did pause. Didn't pause the output though. Why didn't it pause the output? Okay, the game should pause when you click away. It says game paused. Okay, there's a thing to fix. This game status dot action. Game status dot action equals pause. And if game status dot menu equals none, or game status dot menu equals pause, then otherwise leave it at wherever it was. Let's see, does this... Yeah, just the fact of printing that fast, printing stuff to the console every frame is just for some reason, I guess, not very efficient. Yay! And if I move it to quit, stays on quit. Alright, cool. Gonna want to make sure to add that to the commit notes. Yeah, did you see that? It took a while for the printing to catch up. Then it said game paused as this came up, and then it actually stopped. Hmm. I wonder why this looks straight and this looks jagged. Is it the monitor? Is it Windows? Is it possibly the driver? Let's see. Okay, then I'm going to want to call it... Wait. Do I want to add the filtering? Let's move, yeah, I'll leave it like this. Existing projectile. Um, Move existing projectiles. Yeah, I'll just have the loop happen in here. Yeah, I'll just leave this. Also, leave it spawn player projectile. I'll leave it as this really sparse function. How am I going to do it with destroying them? Because it's gonna... What's going to happen if I get rid of number 2, for example? If controls ability, so then player projectiles, so 2 equals nil. It'll remove the 1 in the middle. Because I think the pound sign operator might be smart enough to detect holes, but I don't think it is. Alright. Right, and I don't have the print loop anymore either, so I can't see the effects. Come on. Where was it? This is my approach to short-term sort of dealing with repos and things. I just hit Control Z until I get back to where I was at when I had code that I need. Yeah, it'll print before and after. There we go. That'll end up with twice as many prints per frame. But really, it was performing about the same for 3 as it was for 10, so 6 should be fine. Okay. Let's only print that when either of these are pressed. Let's do that. Actually, let's do it before and after pressing the ability button, aka X. Alright, press C a couple of times, then press X. We'll press C once, press C twice, press C 3 times. Once, X, twice, X, thrice, X. C, X, C, X. It removes it, and then it... Okay. Twice, X. Yeah. Press it again. Hmm. What's something else that'll... It looks like it's taking in the new value, which is good. I'm going to want to print the new value. Print X, Y. Wait, I still have the other prints in there. Whatever. X. Okay, let's not have it print. Just have it delete the middle projectile. I want to be really sure this is filling in that gap. See? Okay, now X to delete the middle one. See? X. See? Yeah, it's creating new values. Should only be creating them if they're okay. To string pound layer projectiles. Link. No, last element. You know what? You know what? I'm sensing a utility function. Only 4 years after I've been doing this. I keep wanting to just pass a bunch of comma separated values to print and have it just print them all. What I can do is write a function that does that. Three. Interesting. It's renumbering. Except it's... Okay, so it's not giving them numbers. But it's limiting it to 3 elements. Which is what I want. I wasn't thinking about it like that. I was kind of forgetting what I said. Well, I thought it indexed them by number. But I guess that indexing is not a hard and fast thing. Maybe it's because I'm looping over them with pairs and not I pairs. Or because I was looping over them with pairs and not I pairs. But, hey, it works. That's good. Function destroy player projectile. That's gonna, let's do that when we come to it. Because if they're not hard indexed by number, then we have to loop over. Well, when I encounter it, then I'll know which one, and I should be able to. Do I want to do it in the code where I encounter it? I don't know. We'll deal with that when we come to it. Yeah, first off, I can just have the projectiles despawn when they go off the screen. Okay, let's do this. Player projectile equals null table dot spawn function player projectile dot move. And I think I'll just write it to move all of them. Move all player projectiles. Yeah, just loop over them with pairs for key value. So I had a scheme for how I did this. Search for pairs. Something index selected something. Projectile index selected projectile. That's what I was thinking of. That's what I would want to pass around. Selected projectile. That's the reference I need. In pairs, player dot projectiles do projectile speed equals faster than the fastest the player can move. So 200. We'll try that out. I'm gonna need to pass in DT. Selected projectile dot x equals selected projectile dot x plus player dot projectile speed times dt. I think that's right. Yeah, because that would be like 200 pixels, except scaled back by the tiny amount since the last frame. So that over 1 second, it would pass 200 pixels. Good. Projectile speed times dt. Coolio. What happened? Player projectile dot move dt. You know what? Let's get them drawn first. It'll be funny to see them spawn and just stay where they are. And that'll be a good visual indicator of how far I've come. So let's see. I'm going to make them little rectangles, because that's simple. Little rectangles that are the same color as the player. And the challenge of this game jam, once again, is to use only 3 colors in the whole game. So I was thinking one for the background, one for the foreground, and then like one for health. But then I was thinking, well, no, I can make the enemies or enemy projectiles for both the 3rd color to help distinguish them from the player, and actually the player's projectiles. And that is actually really handy, because you can watch the projectiles and see which way they're going, but it's good to have that extra little bit of obviousness in a fast-paced sort of game. Or I mean, originally I was thinking have the background be white and the projectiles be off-white. And I thought about it, and I was like, that might be annoying. I asked my sister about it. She was like, yeah, that would be annoying. So, not doing that. That's the other thing I was going to ask. Does it have to be only 3 colors at a time, or 3 colors in the whole entire game? Okay. I want this to have an odd number of pixels too. Let's see, 5 pixels wide or long. That seems fine, right? No, it should be wider or longer, I think. You know what? Yeah, let's chamfer it a bit. Sure. All my time, all my time spent in a drafting class, and in a supposed computer arts class. All I got out of it, as far as any of that, pretty much the word chamfer, which is to basically cut a corner. The word lanai, it's a Hawaiian word. It's basically a hallway where one wall is not there. You just have pillars holding up the roof. Alright, select that. image crop selection. And save as. Flare projectile .png. Okay. Draw projectiles. I already have a section for it, which just means I have a comment with 2 words in it. Whatever. Yes, draw projectiles. Love.graphics.draw. I'm going to need to loop over the projectiles to do this. Let's reuse this loop. For draw selected projectile dot x, selected projectile dot y, and I'm going to need a sprite. Projectile dot y. Where am I even going to store that? I don't even know what data structure that goes in. Enemies? Enemies. Let's do that. No. Player dot projectile sprite. Projectile sprite equals nil. Load it up in spawn here. So that player attacks. That'll do. Player dot projectile sprite equals love dot graphics dot new image asset slash, what did I call it? Just player projectile dot png, right? Player hyphen projectile dot png. Good. Did I put this under? Did I put this under Apache? Okay. Yeah, I think I'm gonna end up putting this whole game under Apache license, because it's really a fraction of the code that I've written for Cretch Chaos. I just want to have some stuff that's not right out there available. Okay. So when I'm drawing it, it's already getting long to scroll through. Projectiles. Right. Bingo, bango. Adjust the the Y position. Well, I'll know how I want to adjust it when they actually get spawned. Okay. Wait, what? You ever do that? You look at something, you read it, you look away, and you realize you didn't actually absorb any of the information. That's what I call studying at 1 a.m. Attempting to study at 1 a.m. Main.lua 52. Which means I forgot a right brace somewhere way before line 52. Wait, what? How many lines am I at? 330 plus lines in this. Okay. Yeah, and this is hardly any copy paste. Wait, why is this being done here? Spawn.lua constant data. Yeah, it's being done here. I don't um actually, yeah, I was thinking mouse wheel to change the ship configuration, but I was like, what? I was trying to think how I want to do it on a controller. I think I want to do triggers. Yeah, I do want to do triggers because if I put it on the other stick, then well, no, you could still attack by using the triggers. Huh. But I like it. I think I like it better with stick, face buttons, triggers. Okay. Okay. Let's see. What was I doing? Right. I was looking for the magic parent here to close that at line 28. Okay, so I need to go line 28. Oh, I added in a thing here somewhere. This? What? Oh, I forgot a comma. That registered as a... Okay. Sure, I don't know how it parses these things. I'm not gonna pretend like I'm better. Not this time. Alright. Yeah, I forgot to rename that. Player projectile dot spawn. Drawable expected got number. Okay, I know exactly the line. Yeah. Did I put the parameters in the wrong order? I think I did. I think I did. Player dot... What was it? Player dot projectile sprite. Projectile sprite. Yay! It spawns a thing. It only spawns one. Why does it only spawn one? Oh, because of holding the thing down. Right, it must have spawned three right in the same places. Yeah. Alright, let's change this to 10. Well, okay, it's spawning more than one now. I drew a line with Alright, cool. Need to rate limit that stuff. But first I want to make the move. I wrote the function. Pretty simple function. We're about to see if it was too simple. Someday, any day now. Whee! And there it goes. There they go. Okay, so I want to loop over the projectiles, and no, not that. This loop. Because typing again is for scrubs. Yeah, you see that? I mistyped end. 3 letters. Typed it wrong. Typing again is for scrubs. Ah, nose itchy. Okay. Do if selected projectile, man, that's a long term. Dot x greater than love.graphics dot get width. Graphics dot get width. Then okay, and what's the prefix? Yeah, flare projectile. Flare projectile dot remove selected projectile. That should be the reference I want. Right? No. I'm going to use index. Because then I'm passing around the thing I want to delete, and I don't feel good about that. I'm going to pass around a reference to the thing I want to delete. Something that I know is a reference to it. Projectile index. You know what? Print projectile index. And the first time I call it, it's going to crash because that function doesn't exist yet. Oh, it's going to crash before I can even... No? No? Okay. Whatever. Oh. Let's move that up. It was gonna run. Oh, I should have let it go. It would have crashed neatly when it left the screen. One. And boom. Function. Flare projectile dot remove. I don't know. Is that too similar? I have move and remove. Obviously, remove is not. Does the word remove come from the word move? I have no idea. But they don't actually mean opposites. Or remove doesn't really mean move again. I don't want to put delete because delete is like has like memory connotations and editing connotations. And I don't want to put destroy, but that is kind of the standard term for getting rid of an object, a computer memory construct. It's create and destroy, I think, are the standard terms. I'll stick with remove. And if you think that's too much agonizing over a name, boy, do I have a statement for you. The three hardest problems in programming are cache invalidation, which is figuring out when data is old and you can get rid of it, naming things, and the two hardest problems in programming are cache invalidation, naming things, and off by one errors. That's three. Off by one errors. And Lua, oh, I love it. I love it so. Lua is a source of so many off by one errors because it starts at 1 instead of 0. Most languages, when you number things, they want to start at 0 because that's like the first number you can get to, because you have to account for it. And if you're not doing negative numbers, then the first one is going to be 0. And if you are doing negative numbers, then it's a whole other thing that really just involves putting a 1 at the front. So really a negative number is a really high positive number, but you can't normally get to it by a positive number. But then if you treat it as, it's complicated, okay? But but Lua is 1 indexed. Unlike every other language I used, except for the first programming language I used, which was QBasic. Good old QuickBasic. That was by default. That by default started at 1. Although I don't know if there were any functions that would return things starting by 1. It was just sort of a convention, an agreed upon thing programmers did, numbering their arrays from 1. You could number from 0 just fine. Probably had to for a lot of interfaces with other programs. But yes. Move projectile index. Player dot projectiles. It's getting late, I think. Sub projectile index equals nil. You know, that's one line. I think I could just put that in wherever I need it. Because, like, whatever else I'm doing is going to be done by other lines. So I can just, like, use it where I need it, I think. Alright, and it should. Yay, lets me shoot again when it goes off the screen. Yay, it's like like staggered because I was moving. All right. That is good. That is really nice. Um, uh, I feel like I need to take a shower, but I'm pretty sure I've taken a shower recently. Maybe it's this weather. Alright. Definitely this headset makes me more conscious of my head. But what are you gonna do? Okay. That's actually not bad progress for today, but I don't really need to go to bed for like another hour. So let's look at rate limiting this. Let's set a timer. Um, how do I do that? Um, where? Um, okay. Timer. Just search for timer. Oh boy. Okay, timer equals. Right, yeah, set it to number of seconds, then subtract dt from it. After 1 second, that the sum of all the dt's that have been subtracted will add up to 1 second. So it'll go down by 1. And when it hits 0, the timer is over. Okay, so when it creates a new projectile, start the timer. Player dot. Let's create the thing first. Player dot projectile timer. Attack timer. That's quicker. Projectile timer, keep it consistent. Projectile timer equals nil, because I'm just keeping track of things. No, set it to 0. Player dot projectile timer equals 3. No, 1. Let's go with like 0.8 and put some extra zeros in because I might be tweaking it down to the millisecond. If player dot projectile timer equals 0, then yeah. Oh boy, this is turning into a real Lua project. You know it's a serious Lua project when you have like 5 or 6 ends in a row. Let's see if I can find any of that. Pretty sure when I there's 4 in a row. There's 5 in a row. At one point I had 7. I think I've had 8 in a row before. Just end. Where was I? Right now, every time, yeah, when I update it. If player dot projectile timer greater than 0, then player dot projectile. You know what? What did I say? Typing again is for scrubs. Now, if I was using a real IDE, I would just be able to begin typing, and it would pop up a suggestion, and I could press tab, and it would complete it. It's called tab completion for some reason. This has that. Notepad++ has that, but only for some things. You can do function completion, which I don't know how that works, or you can do word completion, where it's anything that you've typed, which also works, but it can be really wonky because it goes through everything you've typed, and you might have to hit tab a bunch of times, more times than you would have pressed other keys to finish typing. So I just leave it off, and I just type things, or I copy and paste, as I just did. Minus DT. Are you learning anything? Brain smarts. Oh dear, something is not working. It's gonna decrement it forever. I checked if it was exactly equal to 0. Else if flare dot projectile timer less than or equal to 0, then flare dot typing again is for scrubs. Yay! Oh, I broke it. And that little 200. Click on field X. It worked up till then. How did it not? If it had a projectile, how did it not have an X component? Did something get spawned wrong? Okay, it looks like it happened because I was moving. It's weird. X. So, but X is the first value, so that doesn't mean it's necessarily. I do know. I'm going to change this. Make this quicker. Maybe that'll help me find it faster. I don't know. It's like because I was moving while it exited the screen. I think it won't do it now because it was. I think it had to do with the. I mean, that's one way to fix it. But because it was trying to spawn when there was no projectile was trying to spawn a projectile, and I was trying to delete a projectile. I was trying to, I don't know. Let's just move it, move the ship. I think as soon as, yep, as soon as the last one leaves. I wonder if it was trying to destroy and create a projectile at the same time. That would be some wicked timing. You know, this is just a little loop. I could, yeah, I'm already looping over all the projectiles. So yeah, I can just don't loop over them twice. I mean, that's not a huge time loss. It's not a huge resource cost, but yeah. I mean, yeah, update the X and then see if it needs to be deleted. I wonder if that'll fix it. Wow. Okay. Oh, right. Because I deleted the function, didn't delete the call for the function. Awesome. And Lua 284, which is going to be the same line. I'm sure of it. Yeah. Why is it not working? Hmm. It's only update. Wait. Was that? Yeah, that was on this line. If. Else if. Less than. It's greater than or equal to. Get with, honestly. Hey, it's not crashing. Now it is. Attempt to compare a number with nil. Okay, 284. Yep, it's as soon as it gets into that. Okay, print, projectile index. That's probably going to slow the function down a lot. Like, it's going to slow the function down a lot. It's going to slow the game down a lot. Did I just launch it twice? I think I just launched it twice. You need to be holding down the fire button when they leave the screen and moving. That little 285. 1, 2. Broke at 3. Broke at 2. Okay. So 2 didn't have an X component, or don't understand. Hmm. Hmm. I just. Okay, so it's spawning. Uh, yeah, I think I need a better trace of whether it's when it's spawning things. Oh, what am I doing? Spawn.player projectile. Put it in here. Print. How many there are. Print. X. So I know how many there are and which one it is. Well, I mean, that should show me which one it is, but it shows me which one it is visually. So I know a better chain of what is going on. What was the last one spawned? If that was even the one that caused it, or if it's somehow the despawn from the last loop around, because I'm moving them before I'm despawning them, but it could be, I don't know. Let's see, 135. Okay, it was at 131313. Before that, it was at 2-3 for a while. Yeah, I think it is indexing them by number more than I thought, and that is making this mess up. Even though it's not iPairs, maybe if I use iPairs, it'll fix it. I don't know. This one that is apparently unexplored is what I'm looking for. Mm. Alright, that wasn't what I needed. I could pretty much tell, but I felt like reading over it. Hmm. I could do that. I could just when I get to no, but then how would I mark it as not being drawn or not being moved? I mean, lots of games keep stuff off the screen. Just so I watched a video the other day about like dozens of things in Dark Souls that are just outside the level, and you would just most of them you would never know they were there because it's either placed there as background, or it's there to make an effect happen, or it's there as a leftover, or there's just like a trace of it that's there as a leftover. Like there's collision, but there's no visuals, or there's visuals, but there's no collision. And typically there's no way to get to either of those. Anyway, yeah, I think I'll do that. I'll update the middle one. I'll when I think it's removed instead of deleting it. I'll set it to null table. No, I'll set it to I'll set it to x equals negative 100, y equals negative 100. Okay, so yeah, if no, but then how do I keep track of? I'll just set a flag on each projectile, whether it's usable or not. Okay, first of all, make this a more major thing. Second of all, for projectile index, selected projectile in pairs. Where did projectiles do? do if, yeah, I'll make it specific, why not? If selected projectile dot x equals -100 and selected projectile dot y equals -100, then selected projectile dot x equals x, and same for y. Oh boy. Right. Yeah, probably because I'm not actually spawning anything. I want to projectiles equals and then say player dot projectiles 1 equals x equals -100, y equals -100, 2, 3. All that to avoid spawning things, and I just all that to avoid specifying them individually, and just okay, that's not working. Now I don't need the new flag anymore either, because it's only spawning. And yeah, I can incorporate the check here. Else if. And you know what? I think I can move that to this loop here. And I wonder if that would fix things. Wait, no, that's not. No, no, I want the top level thing to be checking the main attack. Yeah, I was looking at the 0, I was thinking it was something else going on there. Okay. Um I don't know. They start at -100, -100, right? Well, then they should, well, the way it's set up now, they should be moving already. But they're not. Wait, why am I? Yeah, I can just do selected projectile. Yeah, nothing. Hmm. The way it is now, they should be spawning. No, they're spawning at negative Y. I was going to say, the way it is now, I didn't put in the check yet to make them not move if they're off the screen to the left. But, you know what? Let's just put them to where they would go across the screen. Maybe that's why, because they're never moving. No? Here's a little handy feature. Block select. Only works along the same column. So there should be 3 shots moving as one. 100 pixels down from the top of the window. Yep. And I can't spawn anymore because it's already over there. And then once it goes off the screen, I don't know what's happening. Once it goes off the screen, it should reset. Print projectile reset. It's constantly resetting it. Why? Okay, so that's why it's not... Okay. So weird. Okay, so I figured out why it's not working, but I don't know the why behind the why. Hmm. Is it spawning it and then resetting it? Oh, wait, no. Because when it calls spawn, is it spawning anything? Calling the spawner when I press it, but it's not doing anything. It's not doing anything visibly anyway. Is the projectile timer working properly? Yeah, that's still ticking over like it should be. Wait, what about the checks in here? Okay, now it's not even showing spawned. It's not getting to this part. Less than -9. Yeah, I think it's a thing here. It's not. Hmm. Print. It tried. Actually, there should be. I don't want that level. Well, no, I do. I do. Five ends. It tried. It really tried. $1,003. Why is it not being reset properly? Yeah, why is it not being reset properly? It's still over there off the screen. Don't get it. It shouldn't be the notation. Okay, it was the notation. But it's only letting me have one projectile at a time, seemingly. Okay, if selected projectile.x greater than 0 and so the ones that are off the screen, it should not move now. You know, thinking about it more, I think I'm going to want to not limit it like that anyway. But, I don't know. But then looping over it, I'll have the same problem with tables with holes in them, I think. Oh, it's spawning them on top of each other, isn't it? Because it's still looping over all of them. And it's going to spawn all of them instead of doing it as soon as it finds one. Break. That's why I can't stagger them. 1.43. Wait. Wait, what? Is break ending the if? That's not what I want to do. Ugh, jeez. break and return. Break statement to finish a loop. Okay. Oh. Yeah. Yeah. Alright, it's just complaining about unreachable code. Hey! The bug is not happening. No bugs are happening. Happy day. It's a happy day. Alright. Awesome. Yeah, I do that sometimes to just because, why continue the loop when you found what you were looking for. But in this case, it's necessary because otherwise it'll apply it to more than one thing. Alright, cool. I think 4, 5. Although they're with the rate limiting, I don't think there can be 5 on screen at a time. I think there's just about time for 4, and that's it. Let's check if the exactly equal thing will work still. Will work again. Will work now. Still, again, if it will start working. Because now it will not move one that is at negative 100. Yeah, there can be 5 on screen at once. And that's actually, with the width of the screen, that's about how many can be spawned at once. Well, if I back up, There's a bit of a longer delay after the 5th one, which incentivizes being closer to the enemies, but that's a little bit more dangerous. So yeah, I like this. I like this. I might actually want to make it slightly longer or shorter. I don't know. Or maybe switch it to 4. But I like this. I like this. I like this. I like this. Oh, it's not pausing when I move it. I forgot to, yeah. This code. No, it's game status dot action equals pause. So that should be preventing this logic from running. Game status dot action equals play. Oh wait, this is doing it if it's already equal to pause. Well, there's no point if it's equal to play. Status dot action equals pause, and then put the same if then menu thing. So that it will put it on the pause menu unless it's already on the quit menu. Selected item. Yeah, don't need that. Not doing menus. No. Good. Wait, I have to unpause it twice? No. Oh, those two spawn closer together than they should have because of the why is there that hitch when it spawns? Everything jumps. I don't like that. Like, it probably won't do that when I'm not streaming. But, it's not the printing because I'm printing one line. If it's the fact of the projectile moving or the fact of the ship and the projectile moving, then I'm in trouble because I, as stated, am going to have a lot more stuff moving. Okay, but moving the ship while the projectile is moving, it's smooth. It only hitches when the projectile starts moving. Why? something about this function call? You know what? Let's do if it's equal to or less than. Equal to or less than 99. Why not? I may need to bring in profiling for this. That's a thing that tells you how much different parts of your program run. I have a library for it. I didn't write it. That's a bit beyond me. But I did download it and integrate it into my program, and I tweaked it because it was all like visual, and I didn't need the visual, I just needed the numbers. So I changed down to the hood so that it just outputs the numbers in a nice fashion. And it draws them to the game screen as like game text instead of the console, so it doesn't take up a bunch of extra resources telling me how much resources I'm using. But that sounds like a task for next time. Right now, I have a functioning ship, functioning projectiles. There's more involved than I was hoping. Yeah. Oh, I should commit. My sister closed my, she was on here, she closed my get window. Left everything else open, which I'm glad for. Not that it took a long time to open, just you can finish loading up anytime now. I mean, it is, I was going to say, it is basically loading up a whole Linux command environment. Not a whole Linux distribution, but just like the core, like the GNU utilities, pretty much. So not the kernel, not the ABI or the APIs. Well, sort of the APIs. I mean, you can run some Linux stuff under this, and not just shell scripts. But stuff that's compiled for MSys does not generally run under actual Linux because it has its own weirdness to it that I don't really know. I just know you can run Git under it without it being with it being very close to Linux or Unix Git, which is what I want. I know there's like Windows Git things. I don't care to do. I like the command line. I like text. I think better in text. That's why I'm using Love instead of some actual proper engine, other than the fact that I don't want to pay anything. And the fact that it is still easier than going directly to SDL or OpenGL or SFML. It's right in that sweet spot where it gives you things like you can open a file with like one line, or you can load up an image file with one line and display it with one other line. But it doesn't hold your hand by giving you like, it does have a physics engine, but you don't need it for most games because it's actually quite an involved one. I have it turned off so that it doesn't draw extra, doesn't like take up extra memory or anything. And it also has a particle system for like water and fire and smoke and things, and again, I don't need it, so maybe I should do the projectile. Maybe I should do the background using the particle system. That would probably be cheaper, less resource intensive than whatever I was gonna do, spawning a bunch of sprites. Hmm. What do I want to put for this commit message? Added projectiles, including motion and cleanup. Fixed up responsiveness to window shenanigans, window interactions, minor code slimming, added debug menu. code slimming. Oh yeah, I was gonna add a thing to the utility module and backport it to the version I'm using in Crutch Chaos. Function util dot print. Pretty print, easy print. Printy. There's printf formatted. Printy for easy. A, B, C, D, E, F, G. That should be enough. And you know what? You know what? For that I would want to, yeah, I would want to check if it exists. I mean, it would at most print 25 extra spaces. Print toString a space toString b. Yeah, there's got to be a loop way to do this. I'll look that up later. I feel like I worked on something else. Projectiles, that was what I came in intending to do, right? And I just sort of sat around for a while trying to figure out how I wanted to even implement them. You know, I'll slap in health. Okay, health already is a number. Let's see if it responds properly when all the health is taken away. No. Okay. If player health less than or equal to 0, then player.alive equals false. There. Yep, can't move, can't shoot. So, oh, you know what? I feel like implementing respawning. I just feel like it. It's late, but I feel like it. Clear that spawn timer. Equals 3. Good. Wait, should it be 3 to start off with? 0. Player dot spawn timer equals player dot spawn timer minus dt if player dot spawn timer is less than or equal to 0, then timer is 0. Player dot alive equals true. End. Oh, I'd want to respawn player dot spawn comma 235. Actually, doesn't player dot spawn take care of whatever? No, I don't need those either. Yeah. spawn a null value. Did I do spawn.player, not player.spawn? Oh. Wait, what? Oh, yeah, I gotta set the timer. Player.spawn timer equals 3. Oh, the debug menu. I didn't change the color of the debug menu. You know, actually, oh, I didn't save that. But this also, when it checks if it's the pause menu, it doesn't check if it's the pause menu. It's already the pause menu. Yay! All right. Awesome. I gotta type all that again. Added player projectiles, including motion and cleanup. Added death and respawning. Improved responsiveness to window interactions. Minor code slimming. Oh, added debug menu. Debug screen. Screen. Now it's processing. Git log. I thought so. Alright, yeah, I'm gonna wanna Why did I go back to commas? Commas are what I initially wrote my commit messages with on Crutch Chaos. Then I moved to semicolons so I can put comma separated lists in between. I can have like multiple of them. Ugh. Okay. Alright, how do I alter? It's amend, right? Git commit hyphen amend hyphen m. Alright. With that, I'm going to call it a night. Thank you very much for watching. Today, tomorrow, any time, including it after the time that I am saying this. I'm really grateful that anybody is watching at all. Please recommend me to your friends. I'm not about to say like and subscribe. I'm not that far gone yet. But yeah. See you back. Working on this again. I touched up Crutch Chaos a little bit off camera. I'm gonna commit that today because now it's tomorrow. It's when I get home from work, and I might stream that, and I might do other stuff with it. But I'm happy with where it's at for right now. I'm happy with it for its 4th anniversary. For right now, this has been Negative Space for Game Jam. This has been Vagueness, aka several other names. Goodbye.